everybody, and welcome back to another video, and happy almost Halloween. I am so excited. This is my favorite holiday out of the entire year, so I am so excited to bring you this build. As you may have noticed from the title of the video and hopefully from the thumbnail, I decided to build the Sanderson Sisters house from my absolute favorite Halloween movie, Hocus Pocus. If you haven't seen it or heard of it, then I definitely recommend you go watch it. I have watched it every year since I was a kid, and I love it. It never ever gets old. So yes, it was definitely my inspiration for this build. Unfortunately, I couldn't really copy it perfectly because, as I found out while I was making this, Hollywood doesn't build houses to be practical. And I guess what I mean by that is that what you see on the outside of a house is not the same thing as what you see on the inside of the house. In the movie, you only get to see the outside of the house very briefly. So I had to go off a couple screenshots and, of course, rewatch the movie to see what I could do. And once I had the outside of the house all frameworked out, as you saw at the beginning of the time lapse, I looked at the inside and I realized there were some major inconsistencies here. This cottage is definitely bigger on the inside than the outside. And that's just one of the few inconsistencies that I found. Windows that were there on the inside weren't there on the outside. It was just a whole mess. So this is my version of the Sanderson Sisters Cottage, and I hope you can appreciate that. And one last thing to note before I show you around our final build is that this is one of the few times that you will ever see me use a texture pack. Normally I don't, but since I didn't want to make this build ridiculously huge, I decided that a texture pack would help me bring in some details that I otherwise wouldn't have been able to get in there. So all the information for the texture pack and everything will be down in the description below. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this relatively short time lapse, and I am just so excited to show you guys around the inside of this build. It's where I put a lot more time and effort and detail, so let's go take a look at that, shall we? Hello everybody, and welcome back to the walkthrough. I'm super excited to show you guys this, and so without further ado, let's get going, shall we? Alright, so in order to make the inside as accurate, I guess, as possible, I did have to scale the outside up a bit. Come over here and we can see the water wheel that Thackeray Binks climbs up on his way to try and save Emily. I don't know why there's a water wheel attached. I've watched this a million times. Never seen anything that indicates there needs to be one. Looks like we already have poor Thackeray Binks. He's keeping an eye out for any trouble. Over here, it looked like they had a bit of a garden just kind of tucked off to the side. So I added some mushrooms and some wither roses and some dead coral. Just things that aren't super pretty because they don't feel like the kind of witches who are in it for the pretty aesthetic, I guess. And then let's go inside. I'm so excited. Okay. So we walk in and oh, hello, Sarah, Winnie. How are you lovely ladies today? So we have Sarah Sanderson wandering around over here. Looks like she's dancing a little bit. Got Winnie over here. Looks like she might be crafting a potion of some sort. Looking at her book, her precious book. Alright, and then this is the inside. So, I'm super proud of this, you guys. And obviously, I wanted to set this up like it was at the beginning of the movie, since once you hit modern times, 1990s, they convert it into a museum, and I didn't think that would be nearly as fun, especially since I wanted our three witches living here. So, using some custom armor stands to create the witches, and also to add things like that bowl of soup and some stuff on shelves over there, this is the inside. Over here, we have a cozy little area in front of the fireplace, which I know it wasn't in the film, but I did try and put the chimneys where they were shown on the outside of the house and then have a corresponding fireplace inside. And guys, it's confusing. This is a very confusing house. None of it makes sense at all. Alright, back to the tour. So then over here we have a little crafting area for potions, maybe a book and some ink, along with a little dagger for cutting things up. I just thought they would need a little area for prepping some of their spell ingredients, you know? Over here, some storage. Got some sort of ore there. Some looks like snakes, maybe? I don't know. And then we have a skeleton. And while it's definitely not Billy, who's to say it isn't one of Winifred's other scorned lovers? Just saying. So then over here we have just another desk. It looks like it has some gold on it. But then it has also a map, probably of the local town and where all the best, most youthful and vibrant children are to suck the life forces out of. Over here is not anything super special, just some back storage. And then here, right here, is the area that I worked on to make look the most like the film. So we have Winifred right here with her pedestal for her book and some spell ingredients over here. We have her cauldron that it looks like is brewing the potion of eternal life right there. And then here is the chair. It was such an impressive chair that they had just to sit this little girl down in at the very beginning. So yeah. Some more storage over here. Looks like somebody left their boots over here. And then the dining room table, since, you know, they probably want to sit neat. Winnie obviously has her own chair, and then Sarah and Mary can share over here. Looks like somebody is in the middle of dinner. Probably Mary, who, if we just come around the corner, we'll find in the kitchen. Oop, close that. Getting some bread and honey, it looks like. I kind of felt like out of everywhere in the house, the kitchen would be her domain, you know? And I don't mean that because she was the stoutest or anything like that. It's just she could sniff out children, and she mentioned like eating them a couple times. So I feel like the kitchen it's her domain. This movie sounds really creepy if you haven't seen it. It's actually really fun. Go watch it. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. So we have something writhing in a pot over here, some moldy bread and some sugar maybe, and then something to hang whatever you need to dry, as well as some herbs and some bottles and storage back there as well. I also wanted to add some cobwebs to the place just to kind of make it a little bit creepier, since, you know, they're busy sucking the life forces out of children. They don't have time. They don't have time to clean. And besides, the cobwebs are probably an important spell ingredient. And then in the movie, they do have a very steep ladder stair combination type thing to get into the loft. But that's not really a thing I can do in Minecraft. Even with these lovely custom armor stands, it would have been a lot. So we're going to go with just a plain ladder. Up in the loft, it's nothing super special. There's a little bit of storage over here, maybe like their most wanted posters or something, just trying to keep up to date on what's going on in the town so they don't get too many looks, even though everybody in the town already knows they're witches. They know. And then I did throw a couple musical instruments and things around, since it felt like Sarah would probably have those, since she is the one who lures the children in with her voice. This is, as best I could replicate, the window that Thackeray Binks climbs in when he's trying to save Emily. I don't really understand, because whenever you're inside the house, all of the windows have glass, but anytime there's an outside shot, they're just shutters. So I decided that maybe this window in particular was broken and left it at that while I gave all the rest of the windows glass, since it's just a pet peeve of mine. I can't leave windows without glass. I can't do it. And then over here is just a little weaving area, since I imagine they can't really go into town very often since everyone knows they're a witch. I don't think they know that everyone knows, but everybody knows they're a witch. So we have a loom over here, some fabric hanging here, and if they wanted anything to wear, they probably had to make it themselves. And then this part wasn't in the movie, but just like, I mean, I guess the kitchen wasn't in the movie either, but since they live here, they have to have bedrooms, right? That makes sense. So I decided to add this little area above the loft, since I had a ton of free space, as you'll see in a second, I added trapdoors for the walls just to give it everything a little bit more space inside, and then divided the area up. All right, first of all, we have Winifred's room. Obviously, it's the biggest because I don't think she would settle for anything less. She's definitely the one that wears the pants in this family. She has just a nice double bed. She seems like the kind of girl who would sleep with a knife next to her bed, so I gave her that. As well as some maybe bat wings or imp wings, something like that she has just up here that maybe she was messing with for a spell or potion. And then a rack to hang. Who knows, really? Very creepy. And then along with her wardrobe and another skull, because I feel like she probably had a couple scorned lovers that she just wanted to keep around in the most uncomfortable way possible. So there's another one. And then I thought that since she's so attached to her book, there's no way she's just gonna leave it downstairs when she goes to sleep at night, especially not with those two living with her. So she probably brings it up with her and has like a special lectern just to set it on for when she goes to sleep. It's its sleeping lectern. Also, for the record, I would not recommend making walls out of trapdoors. It's a pain, and every time I come through here, I always forget that this is the door, not this, and that happens a lot. So I would not recommend unless you're really, really cramped on space. And then next we have Sarah's bedroom. It is the second biggest since, you know, she's very charming. I'm sure she charmed her way into a larger bedroom. Plus, as it's hinted at in the movie a couple times, she does have a lot of male visitors, shall we say, over, so she probably needs a little extra room. She has a mirror with a little bit of a creepy base here, and a nice double bed as well. A wilted rose, probably from one of her lovers. And then, since she is the musical one, I decided to give her a little bit of a music station. So we have a flute and then probably some sheet music here that she can practice. And then I kind of imagined that these were letters from her lovers, people that she's seduced through magic, you know, and wanted to keep those. And last but not least, we come to Mary's room. And Mary's room is kind of sad, I'm not gonna lie. But honestly, I get the vibe every time I watch the movie that her room would look like this. It's very small, it's very compact, there's nothing really in it, and that just kind of makes sense for her character to me. I don't know, she gets thrown under the rug a lot. I don't know. And let's just head back downstairs. And I think that is about it. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed my walkthrough tour of the Sanderson Sisters house. I had such a fun time creating it, you guys. It was so much fun. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a wonderful Halloween. You should tell me in the comments down below what your favorite Halloween movie is, and if I haven't seen it, I will check it out because I love binging Halloween movies this time of year. It just puts me in the mood perfectly. And as a special treat, I do have another video planned for this week. Yes, I know, for this week, coming up in a few days on Halloween. So keep an eye out for that. I'm super excited. I won't say what it is, you'll just have to tune in and watch, but I'm super excited to show you guys. So, until I see you guys then, have a wonderful day and a great Halloween season. Bye!